Okay.
But my final paper, I did the same thing as ours. Because like I told you, my whole thing ended up being like 20-something pages long.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. Because what happened is like, I wrote everything else except for the intro and context first. And so I was like, oh, I need to add more. I didn't realize I needed like 4 pages plus for an intro and 2 pages plus for the context part. So then I just had to add a bunch more. So.
I didn't even see anything about like page limits. Or
Yeah. Well, they
she
said
said it was
just,
more like a guideline.
yeah, she said just
than it is.
ignore them.
Oh,
They don't really
Yeah.
care about
I
it.
remember-
So
Yeah.
that kind of thing really kind of freaks me out because I had like 8 pages about my research that I did and like 2 pages about my project.
That's what I should have done.
So I was a little nervous that I didn't say enough about my project. I looked up.
But you also presented about it and you,
100% presentation.
your presentation focused on the project or like the art and stuff a little bit more. And so I would be, if you got a good grade, I wouldn't be too perfect. you all know your grades now, we don't worry. But yeah, they're very, very flexible. Like the page limits really are just like guidelines. And they,
guidelines than
Just kidding.
rules.
and they, I've never, in fact, I didn't even realize there were page limit, like page stuff on there. Because I've never heard them refer to them. They're very like out of, it's a very
Well, that's what I
different.
really like about Diane. And did you guys have her for freshman colloquium?
No.
She would rage on those papers we had to turn in for the group. Like,
I didn't
You
have
know
her
those
first.
papers
I
that
had her
they-
second semester, not first.
oh, because I had her first and second semester because she was fabulous. But she, like, you know those papers where you had to turn in, like, multiple people would grade them? She raged on those all the time. Stupid things have page limits and all of these things you have to add in there. Like, it was great to hear about how ridiculous she thought it was because I thought it was ridiculous.
I
That's
hated,
I
I
love
hated that
she
way
was
back
just
in the
so-
day.
Yeah.
Did any of you guys have,
I hate page limits.
Tori?
Yeah.
was Tori still teaching when y'all were freshmen? When y'all were freshmen?
I don't know who
think-
Tori is.
I don't know who
I
that
think so. It makes sounds familiar.
I don't know. I had
I had
Tyler.
Diane.
I had Tyler Fall for first semester, and then I had Panaza second.
I had Tori, and he was amazing. But he had backed off from some of his teaching, because he had cancer, and then he ended up dying.
Oh, yeah, he was there my freshman year.
So he was there, okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, like, what all he was teaching and what, you know, but he was just incredible. I loved him. So, and then I can't even remember who I had spring semester.
My roommate had it
It's about 10
Never
years ago now.
he had someone this semester for a class that he thought was gonna be really good.
Is it Aaronstein?
It might have been Aaronstein. Is that the words one?
No,
I don't know.
Susan taught Disney this semester.
But I think Aaronstein is actually now, when I heard you start to say that name, I think she's who taught my second semester. Honors colloquium.
Oh, really?
I don't know if she did, like I said, this was
I don't
like,
remember, but my roommate, he's been
9 years ago.
raging the last few weeks because he had a class where they were supposed to be able to speak freely, but the teacher, because of my roommate's ideas about certain philosophies and stuff, the teacher is like just throwing anything he says out the window the last 2
Oh,
months.
that's my roommate too, because he's a political science
That's
major.
not Susan then. Susan is very.
I wouldn't think, yeah, I've had her and I don't think.
So, I don't remember who it is.
Yeah, and they were learning about progressive feminism in his class. And he said that, like, I don't know, some comment that I wasn't offended by, I don't remember what it was, but it was something involving, you know, like how you can't just say that men are the only faults for women's not having, something along the lines that it's not all men's fault that women haven't been able to be completely equal to men. pretty
You
much.
get one feminist in that class and it's gonna
She like flipped on him.
Oh, I'm
and
sure.
like just all of his papers and stuff from then on.
Do you guys remember the UW Crushes page last year?
No, I don't hate feminists, but I hate like feminists who think like that.
Yeah, me too. I'm more
You guys
Yeah,
like-
those are, I would say those are like closer like militant feminists. Because I
exactly.
would call myself, I don't know if I'm a feminist, I'm like a, I don't know what you call it now, because feminist is such a bad word.
Equal
But
rights.
I'm more like equal, yeah, there you go.
That's
Like,
what feminism is. It's about the equal rights and the power to choose. If I want to be a housewife, then that's my decision, and that's what
Do you
feminism
people
should
remember
be.
the UW Crushes and the rape threat and everything
my
that went
God.
down last year?
and how it was that
And
girl
then it ended up being
herself.
that girl that herself
Horrible.
just to try and gain publicity.
Well, yeah, and it worked because clearly we're still talking about the bitch.
Yeah. But seriously, that's just like anti.
Yeah, but it completely destroyed the entire movement.
Yeah.
It just, like,
Which was sad because I even got mentioned on there once and I was looking for Explorer to it happening again.
they were still up as of last semester.
I'm
They're
pretty
not
sure it
up
was my
anymore,
roommate.
really.
Messing with
But
me, but-
That's funny.
Wait, are you engaged? So why do you want to be mentioned on a crush's page?
Could you make me feel good about question?
I would be mentioned on the crush.
I said I was pretty and smart. Hello.
Anyone can tell me I'm pretty or smart. I don't care how old they are. I don't care what their sex is. It's fine. Feel free.
Actually, my favorite's when little old ladies tell you you're pretty.
Yeah. I guess that's
Little ladies or little
that's a
people.
little different. Pretty and smart isn't, you know, I thought they were like worse than
Damn,
that. I never-
Sam.
Yeah. I never read them, so I didn't know what
Sam.
exactly
Well,
they.
some of them were.
Okay, those are the ones I heard about, and so then I
And
was
some of
like,
them were anonymous, like, or were like not about people they didn't know who the names were. So it's like that girl who was at the gym at 12, who had the like most gorgeous ass I've ever seen in my entire
I
life.
know. it's a
Call
little
me.
toxic.
Here's my number. And I'd be like, oh my god.
Like, probably not gonna call you. Honestly.
How
definitely
do you
had
know
friends
she's
who
gonna
would
see this?
prank call
or
numbers
just
on there.
yeah, exactly.
Which
That's
was
what
fun.
I would do.
That was fun.
That's really
Yeah.
funny. Why did I never think of that?
All right, so the questions are. What we have.
Oh, are we recording?
You guys didn't watch me like start everything.
I did.
I wasn't paying attention.
Do I just get
I
that whole
definitely
like,
watched.
feel free?
My name is Samantha.
Yes.
I was on W.
Yes,
And
that's
damn Sam. They just got both those things on
Yeah.
there. Like,
Yeah.
hello.
Don't worry, I can go in and edit the video. and put
Thank
that
you.
first. I thought like I walked up and I pressed start recording and I sat down and like played with this and turned it off.
I was too busy thinking about myself on the crushes page.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, it's cool.
Okay.
Well, and I left it recorded, and at first I thought it was fine because we were talking about honors courses and doing things differently, and you know, like in the beginning when it first started recording. So I was like, this is great.
And
It's
then
moving
you
right
changed
into
the
it.
subject.
Oh
and then-
yeah, what me? Okay, you guys went on the feminism, so I was trying
Yeah, see, it's all his fault because he's the
You're a
man.
male. Therefore, it is completely you.
Okay.
I'm out of here.
It's just like,
No, done.
sorry. Wow.
Okay. So, like I said, y'all can each share your opinion or you can bounce off each other. The first few are pretty broad questions about the two main tenets of the course, so to speak, and then it gets into some more specific of what you like or didn't like sort of thing. So the first question is, how would you define art and how has this class influenced that definition?
Holy cow.
It's a hard
We
question.
did this on the first day of class too, right?
Mm.
Okay.
And it came up a few times throughout the semester.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong answer.
Okay. So I feel like art is a very difficult thing to define because I was going to say, you know, an expression of someone's that has a meaning behind it. But I don't feel like all art has to have a meaning. So.
No, that's true.
I think it's more something that has an aesthetic appeal to someone, whether it's just one person or millions of people. It's something that someone somewhere finds attractive, finds just something that they makes them think.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say attractive, but I would say like thought-provoking.
Mhm.
Something that like instills some kind of emotion. Because even if it makes you super angry, it's still, I mean, there's a reason why.
So what about nature? Is nature then art? Because that will evoke.
Some ways,
Yeah,
yes,
nature is like a
definitely.
lot of art. Yeah.
Nature is definitely
God's
art in some ways.
Nature's God's art.
So
Actually, they haven't done studies in like the, oh no, that's more math than art. Although I guess in this case you could call math art, where they're
Math
like
is an art form,
specific-
definitely.
mathematic equations that fit like plant leaves
yeah, like
or
a
like flowers or
something
something.
spiral.
Yeah, something.
Something.
So in that respect, I guess you could even like call math art.
I lot of
I
places
have a
follow.
great idea for another final project.
A great idea. Yeah, it's like a lot of them follow like the nautical spiral,
Yeah, that's what it is.
and then that other thing to like that's body proportion. A lot of nature follows that too.
Like the golden
It's-
rule, I
The
think
golden
is what it's
rule,
called.
yeah.
Or like the golden
Something along the lines.
Yeah.
I thought that was treat others as you want to be treated.
Yeah, that's the golden rule.
There's a golden rule of math too, though.
Oh, okay.
And it's like something about symmetry or
I don't
Something
know
about
what
your
it is. I can
face.
look it up. I do
It's
have
something
a
to do with like
Interesting.
proportion.
1/3 versus 2/3, close to that.
Yeah, this is what it is.
So that then is art then in nature.
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So art would be anything that would elicit a response from the viewer. Is that what you're trying to say?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Does there need to be an expression? So maybe not a theme or a purpose behind if it is created. Maybe not a theme or a purpose, but does it need to be an expression of something from whoever created it? Or can it just be like I dropped paint on the canvas? Is that
I still
Is that
think
art?
I still think that had meaning to Jackson Pollock though.
well he
In
had
some
me
ways.
yeah, he had expression behind it. But what I'm saying is if somebody had no expression, no purpose, they're
Or
like
like the dogs who like have paint. Like
Yeah,
paint on their
yeah.
paws and then they just have them walk
Or
around.
even some of the pieces we didn't really like in the student exhibit, or that some people didn't like. I don't know.
Mhm.
Don't let this influence if you like them later.
Hmm.
But there were some where they felt like the students had no meaning behind it. They just did it for a course, and so they're like, that's just not. You know.
But there's
Is
a
that
reason-
still art to you?
Yeah, because there was a reason why it was put into the exhibit. Didn't have to go through a panel of judges to get there.
If
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't judge. or-
yeah. A judge in Florida, but yeah, a judge. They have
So
to
it
do
might
that.
not look like something to one person, but
But
I mean, dogs walking over a canvas could elicit some serious emotion in somebody else.
Yeah.
Mhm. So it's all about on the
Especially-
receiving end and not on the creation.
I feel like I like stuff more when the artist had a meaning behind it, like a way, something they wanted to express or a thought or a theme. I like it better, but I really like some of the abstract stuff that maybe wouldn't be as.
I think an artist can do a lot with just a title. I think if an artist has a very good title, like Walking My Demon,
Mhm.
I think that can point people in the right direction for what they want to look for in art.
So what we've kind of hit it. The next one is we've kind of hit it, but maybe more explicitly answering what makes art good. So you said you like it a little bit more if there is that purpose behind it. You know, are there other things that would make art good to you?
That's different for every person.
Well, yeah. So for you individually,
us
though.
personally?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not necessarily. It can be for you personally. It can be something you think needs to be a universal truth, you know, or it can just be something that you personally. This is what makes art good to me.
I don't know if I can single out one thing that makes art good to me.
Well, what are a couple?
I
It
don't know
varies.
how
There's
to-
not even a.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. Like the Bentley Spain exhibit, I found it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't particularly care, though.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was cool what he was able to do with burnt wood that was still on a tree, but I don't know. I just didn't see it as art in my eyes for whatever reason. But then I go to the astrophotography exhibit that came in right there at the end, and I love that exhibit. And I think that could be just because I relate to it more through my science background. But yeah, I don't know.
I also think, like, for me, I think that people should, when they try to do art, and I understand why they make us look at how different materials should be used, different mediums, because I think you should have some technique behind, know how that medium will work with you, so like with paints, different kinds, and that kind of thing. So I do think that some of that's important, is knowledge of what the medium is. Can sometimes make painting really good, so, or anything else.
That's true.
I get really, really picky about art. I mean, because there's art that I like to look at, but art that really, really moves me is stuff that I would like want to bring into my own home.
Yeah.
So I thought that it was really, really interesting to have the grocery
Stock.
stocked, that stocked exhibit. That was really cool to just kind of walk around and look at.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. It didn't hit me as hard as the astrophotography, because as soon as I saw the astrophotography, I ran to the front desk and I bought the book. because that was art that I wanted to bring into my own home because
Mhm.
it meant something more to me. So I mean, it's not necessarily that it's better art; it just has more.
Personal meaning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of like some of the professors. After I heard them talk about like their art, I like love it so much more. And then other times when I heard someone talk about their art, I would just be like kind of turned off from it. You know, it just depended. But it was just like it was interesting to have like the background of why I guess that they
Yeah.
decided to go with that. Even if it was like I just decided to test this color on this paper, like that one kid who put up all the sheets, the black and white all around, and he was just like, well, I was just playing with this. It's still much more interesting after hearing like
Yeah.
the methods and the reason behind it, so it makes art better.
But at the same time, like, okay, I know everybody really loved Walking My Demon, and I loved the idea behind it, but that demon gave me nightmares. That was so realistic. It was super creepy. I would not, I mean, I love the idea behind it, but that is not something I would want to bring into my own home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm just kind of like, I just take a step back from it and I focus on
Yeah.
the artist and not the creepy skull that's like rotting in front of me.
I know. It's such a weird contrast on that one between. Oh yeah, that one kind of gave me a little bit.
Well, that was so weird. I mean, it's crazy because it was like metal and candle wax,
I
Yeah.
know.
but it didn't.
It looked like flesh. You. But like
It's
I
very
really do.
impressive, but
Yeah.
hot
I really
damn.
like the astrophotography because I was like, I want to put that in my house. Like honestly, you know, it really struck me as like the colors and just the different like. I mean, it's so bizarre and it actually could possibly, like we talked about, exist. And
So why do you think, so you mentioned it moving you, and that's why you want it, and you mentioned that maybe you liked it more because it was connected to your science background, so that's how you could relate to it. Is that kind of, so what's your major?
speech pathology.
That's what I thought, I didn't think you were a science person.
Yeah.
So-
well, I mean.
Oh, it's kind of science.
Kind of.
I'm in communication disorders right now, which is all science, but then.
I didn't think you were, yeah, I guess you're all right.
It's not hard
Like
science.
physics.
Like physics, science, yeah, that's what I guess what I'm thinking,
Physics,
like
chemistry.
dealing with like
Pharmacy.
potentially in some way looking at space. And your pharmacy? Oh, okay.
I'm so scared.
You're gonna do great.
Well, so
Oh.
why do you think though that is something as opposed to, let's look at just compared to Bentley Spang. I get kind of stocked is very, I get that that's not really
It's very
home art, I
contemporary.
guess. But so as opposed to like
Okay.
Bentley Spang, why do you think you go more towards the astrophotography being in your home than like Bentley Spang in your home?
Because I could see it and recognize something. Like the
So
really,
you-
really
okay.
big one,
Mm-hmm.
you could find the constellations.
I
The
know.
Big Dipper was in there.
Mm-hmm.
The Andromeda Galaxy was in there. The Magellan Clouds were in there. Like it was all in there, and it was all recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I really like.
And I liked Bentley Spang's story, don't get me wrong. I liked what he did.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I respect what he did as an artist. I just didn't feel a connection to his artwork.
Mm-hmm.
And I go and I look at the astrophotography, and I feel more of a connection to it because, like I said in my project, that's the world on a much larger scale, whereas I look at the world on a much smaller scale. I look at you know bacteria, viruses, and developing antibiotics and how that works, and so it's just kind of the opposite direction, and so I can relate to it better that way. Because then I'm the bacteria.
And like I feel like
Nice.
I think like I really did enjoy like Bentley Spang's story as well. And like they said, I probably would never put something like that on my wall. But like I was emotionally moved by it. Makes sense. My minor's disability studies, and I like so not it goes more just disabilities. It's also like gender and non-traditional kind of stuff too that gets woven in there. And so it makes sense that I would feel maybe like more of a connection to that. But I was really attracted to the astrophysics stuff because it kind of played like I've always loved science, my strongest area. I love math, and it connected with my something that I've studied before. And so rather than just being this conceptual idea, it's like I literally looked at the science behind this, and now I see it in art form, and I love that.
Yeah.
So.
So